In today's episode of 5 Scary Things Caught on Camera. Number 5. Our fifth scary video comes from the YouTube channel Team Morozov, who this time did not go to the haunted house, but to the forest, where the legend of a Bigfoot circulates. After he got there, Tim set up the tent, equipment, and a rope with bells to let him know if someone or something was going towards him. After night fell, something at some point triggered a trap with bells.
Сейчас как будто бы колокольчик сработал.
At some point, something triggered a trap with bells, and in the camera footage, we see a figure moving between the trees. After he heard the bells, Tim decides to go outside and check the area, but he doesn't see anyone. The next day, when he gets up, he decides to check the area during the day. What he finds scares him.
Охренеть. Вы это видите? Твою ж мать. Это не мой след. Да, здесь я ходил. Охренеть, смотрите.
In the snow, we see huge footprints that probably belonged to someone or something that activated the trap. Then, a few hours later, at night, something activated the trap again. From one of the cameras, we can see a strange humanoidal figure holding spear in his hand. In addition, he sees a trap with bells and goes under it. Tim once again leaves to check the surroundings, but he cannot see or hear anyone, so he decides to come back and check the video, on which he sees the mysterious figure for the first time.
Должен попасться. Где это твою мать? Что это такое-то?
After Tim saw the recording of the figure for the first time, he leaves the tent again, but this time he decides to search the place thoroughly. At the same time, one of the cameras captures the mysterious creature again.
Я не желаю тебе зла. Только что там прошел.
While Tim searches the grounds, something unexpected happens.
Я не желаю тебе зла. Я лишь хочу тебя увидеть. Что это? Это копье. Блин. Скинул мне копье. Палку эту.
A spear is thrown at him, making him even more afraid. What do you folks think about it? Did Tim, who went to this forest, really recorded and met a real Bigfoot? Or was it just someone in disguise and a well-done hoax? You are the judges, you decide. If you want to watch the full episode, visit his YouTube channel Tim Morozov. Number 4. Our next disturbing video is from the YouTube channel Bad Pioneer, who went on a solo journey to Siberia taiga to the long ravine. His name is Sergey and he is hunter-fisherman, and he heard about this place from another hunter that these lands are cursed, has dark legends, and is a generally bad place. Sergey, not believing in all these rumors, he decided to check it out, and for this purpose he took the camera with him to capture if something was really going on there or if it was just a bunch of lies. The access to the indicated place is extremely difficult because there is no road leading to it, and the location itself is about 60 miles from the nearest civilization. Therefore, Sergey had to travel more than half the distance on foot over rough terrain. After a couple of hours, he reached the place and found a suitable place to hunt. But what caught his attention was the strange construction he saw in a place where nobody lives. But apparently it did not make any impression on him, so for now he only had to wait for the night, which soon came, and with it, strange, unexplained sounds. At the very beginning, we hear a very strange metallic sound, and then another, and another one that is hard to explain, and then he started to hear this.
Твою мать!
Along with the mysterious sounds, we can also hear at some point a man who sounds like he is in pain. After what Sergei hears, he decides to leave the hideout and check the source of these strange sounds. After coming down from the tree, he started walking towards the sounds, and at one point everything went quiet, which made him even more afraid. After that, Sergei was checking the area for a few minutes, and then the strange sounds came back.
Тихо. О, блядь. Тихо, 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 братан. Выхалфу нахуй. Тихо. Вот там где-то, блядь. А ну-ка, пошли. Пошли, блядь. Лезать аккуратно. О, ты чё, блядь? Давай, блядь. Быстрее, нахуй. Туда давай, блядь. На дерево, нахуй. Не боись. Тихо, осторожно. Блядь, не вниз не улети. Тихо.
This time we can hear the same sounds as before, but also a scary voice that sounds like a monster. After he heard these sounds, he decided to quickly return to his hideout, but something started to follow him. After reaching his hideout near him, he could hear something or someone approaching him. Someone who seemed to be singing and crying at the same time. After the mysterious sounds were getting closer and closer to Sergei, he decided to fire a few shots in their direction, which worked, but only for a while.
Вот развлечение это идти, твою мать. Ну-ка, давай-ка туда. Давай, ребят. Покажу, блядь. Тихо. Показывай, блядь. Ой, давай, сволочи. Утро близко. Я вас не боюсь, нахуй. А чё за нас спать, вас не боюсь? Я покажу, блядь, как.
After we hear the strange noises and moans once again, Sergei decides to fire a few shots at them, and right after that, everything falls silent again and stays like that until dawn. So, what do you folks think about it? What could it be? Or who? Why in the middle of the forest, which is 60 miles away from the nearest house, we could hear a human voice, which has no friendly intentions. Was it something paranormal? Or something we haven't discovered yet? Or is it just someone making stupid jokes? At night, in the middle of the forest, with no light, in a place far from civilization. The final decision is yours, folks. I highly recommend watching full episode of this expedition on his YouTube channel Bad Pioneer. DeppWeb video of the week. In the video, we see a strange group of people dressed in black, wearing masks from the Black Death pandemic. What do you think about this DeppWeb video? Let me know in the comments below. Number 3. The next video comes from the YouTube channel FRANKO TV, which this time Frank went to a very old cemetery, which he has been to several times. After his arrival, Frank began to explore the graveyard, zone by zone, until he heard a woman's voice.
I got a noise up here.
While Frank is exploring the cemetery, at some point we can hear a woman's voice, whose source is quite close to him. When Frank decides to check the place, his camera records something chilling.
I don't hear a damn thing. Let me check the main roads.
When Frank enters the path, on the left, for a moment we can see a dark figure moving towards one of the graves. Of course, he didn't notice it, so he continued the investigation. He decided to pull out the K2 and enter one of the buildings and try to make a contact.
Getting spikes. Try not to breathe on the camera, so I'm just... What? Is there anybody in here? Here, let me see if I could clear that up a little bit. Can you come close to me? All right, so here I'm getting about a 2.5 to almost a 10. All right, I'll put that in my pocket for now. Can you make a noise if you're in here? Marco. What the hell was that? Marco. I actually got a spike there when I moved it, but I'm not sure it's because I moved it. See? Look at this. Can you make that blink for me? What the fuck was that? Alright, well, I got creeped out. I officially heard something terrifying.
After he entered one of the buildings, K2 meter began to give strange readings until Frank decided to put him down near the tomb, and at the same moment we hear someone's voice that scares him enough that he leaves the building and goes to a completely different place, where he records something truly terrifying.
Get a jacket too, because it has been super cold where I'm at. I'm sorry, I'm hearing things. Wait. Hold on. I got movement. Oh, come on. Look. Steven. Steven. Steven, you copy?
Yeah, I copy.
I got movement.
What kind of movement?
It's a person, but they don't know I'm here, so we're good. But I can see them on the night vision. It's someone dressed up. I don't know if they have like a black sweater. Hold on. I don't know if they have a black sweater. They're just dressed up in black. West from the car's position, like if you just keep going west over the mound.
Alright, are they heading towards the car?
No. We're good. I'm gonna see if I could wait a little bit and see if I could follow them a little bit. Somewhere around this side over there. I don't know if that's them. Ouch. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, I can't tell. They continued moving forward beyond that tomb.
At one point, Frank notices movement between the graves. When he is pointing his camera there, we see a black figure walking through the cemetery, which appears to be a woman dressed in black from head to toe. What do you think about it? Did Frank manage to record the ghost on the camera and suspicious figure in the cemetery? Or is it just someone visiting the graveyard? Choose wisely. If you want to watch the full episode of this investigation, visit his YouTube channel FRANKO TV. Number 2. Another scary video is from the Ruben Mockery channel. A group of friends decide to go camping together near the lake, in which they experienced a terrifying encounter.
Yeah,
Keep our bugs off of us.
No tent because we're men.
No tent.
That's right, manly men.
We sleep beneath the stars.
Discussing stars. That's right.
Man,
Is that a full moon?
guys, what is
I
that?
think it is.
I
Full
think it's.
moon night.
What's what, Bradley?
Seriously, guys, there's something. I seriously saw something over there. Tom, did you not see it?
Dude, they were
Whatever.
sitting there for like 2
Jeremy, Trevor,
Dude.
it was over there.
Dude, whatever, man.
Man, dude, put some more wilderness fire. I am not gonna sit here
Weird.
with this thing.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was there
What?
for like 2 seconds.
Dude, it was probably
Over there?
Yes, right over there where you're shining the light in that area.
over there.
I've ever seen before.
Yes, there was, Jeremy. But Tom and I both saw it, dude.
It was probably a
It was
squirrel.
nuts. It was nuts.
I don't know, man.
It's not a squirrel. Would you say it was a squirrel?
Okay.
Okay.
A woodland creature.
Okay, what squirrel would look like that, Tom?
It's an animal.
Okay,
We're in the
you know,
woods.
don't
Go
lose.
figure.
Fine, don't lose.
Hey, Tom, guys,
Oh my God.
what is that? That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh.
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh crap!
coming, it's coming.
Oh my God. Oh my Get in, guys. Get in. Okay. Where's
Where's the keys?
I don't know.
Seen it.
Where's
Tom at?
Where's Tom?
All right, dude. We got the
He came from over there.
We'll come get you, dude.
Tom.
Guys, I'm over here.
Are you all right?
Thank God. Are you okay?
Dude, I think I lost it. I don't know. I think it's right behind me. I'm not sure.
What is it, dude? What is
I don't
it?
know. I couldn't
You need to
what it was.
jump. Come on, get down here with us.
You'll have to jump, Tom.
It's not jump. This is too high.
Dude, if you don't jump, it's gonna get you. You have to jump.
It's like, oh my gosh!
Come on, Tom.
Oh, swim, man.
Swim, Tom. Swim.
Oh my God! Did you see it?
No. No, we've not seen it. Wait, what is...
Dude.
What is...
Oh my gosh, dude. Did you see that?
Thank God you're true fan. That's the same thing we've been seeing.
That's it, man. Let's get out of here. Let's find out what that thing was.
Dude, it's right up there. Look.
Sorry, man.
We gotta go, like, right now. Now. What? There it is.
Dude, do you see it? Do you see it?
No, hold on. Dude, if we get this on camera... There it is. That's it.
Dude, why does it keep chasing us?
I don't know. Oh my goodness. That is,
Dude,
oh
I
my
think it's about to
gosh.
jump in the water. Are you serious?
Oh my gosh! What the heck? It's chasing the boat, Tom! Go! Oh my goodness. Go!
At one point, one of them notices a pair of red shining eyes among the trees that seem to be watching them. A moment later, that thing runs towards them and attacks them. Then, we see that they are on the boat, but one person is missing, who after a while appears on the cliff and jumps into the water because something is approaching it. Moments after that, we see a mysterious figure with red glowing eyes for the second time that jumps into the water and starts chasing them. So what do you think about it? Real or fake? Decide, folks. Number 1. The last recording comes from the NVTV channel, on which he presents a rather interesting and very scary story of a man who decided to go camping alone and also decided to record the entire trip on the phone. After arriving at the place and setting up the tent, his attention was drawn to a strange structure made of wood and a shallow grave in which they were plastic bags.
For anybody who's interested, there is kind of a creepy little creation right there, if you can see. Somebody made a teepee. Then a bit more handmade. I think there's a little bit of a grave too. Crazy if I found a body. Oh, there's a lot of flies. It's not gonna mess with it. Must have really wanted to dump their trash. Filming this on that cheap Amazon camera costs about 70 bucks. And you see lots of them on there all by different companies and whatnot. But they're all the same camera, comes from China or Hong Kong or whatever. Anyway, look at this, damn. They must have had their fire going inside of here. It's kind of eerie. Hope they don't come back for a seance or some sort of satanic meeting tonight.
But even that didn't scare him too much. During the first night, he woke up to strange noises near him. He decided to check the area to make sure it was nothing dangerous. What happened next is terrifying.
Third time I've been woken up by these goddamn noises. Yeah, you can hear it. It's up from that side. Sounds right outside the tent. There's something right outside the fucking tent. That can't be. That's not an animal. That's someone's messing around with the rocks out there. Jesus Christ. Hey, fucking leave me alone! What's going on out there? I can't see a goddamn thing outside this night vision. Jesus Christ. I don't know where I am. Or chased me off. I'm wondering. The goddamn darkness. Flashlight.
When he searches the area, at one point a white humanoid figure appears in front of him, and the video ends shortly after. But this recording isn't the scariest, but what happened after that. For several months, no one saw him, and he was declared a missing person, until Ranger found his tent, phone, car, a gun, and his body next to it. Officially, the cause of death is suicide, but is it true? What do you think about it? Who he recorded that night, and what really happened next? He committed suicide, or the truth is much darker? Let me know in the comments below what do you think about this video. Also, I highly recommend watching this episode and the full story about this incident on NVTV YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.